You are tuned into Radio Kasamia, the web video channel on Sunday that many people have been waiting for after lunch, I imagine, with appetizers, a glass of wine, and everything else as usual. Today, Sunday, September 9th, 2018, we will try to bring a little more peace to the heart with the episode number 299 of a beautiful program entitled Listening and Walking. It makes us listen to the conscience that warns us if we make mistakes. And if we have not done so, nothing, we must not be proud, but always entrust ourselves to the one who is silently close to us to share our journey. This is the theme. Lord, open our hearts and minds to listen to your word. Salvatore will continue to meditate on the commandments, the last message of Medjugorje, and to live with the person you love, the boulder and the seed. I give him the microphone and we hear for the final greetings of the episode.
Hello from Salvatore. Let us thank God for this beautiful day, and always remember when we ask for the sacraments that it is the gospel that saves. Its truth changes the understanding of life and gives meaning to existence. Our priests do what they do who can, perhaps, fill their churches with the children for First Communion, and old men from funerals, leaving out the adult world, that of responsibility, of important decision, of daily struggle to make the universe more habitable, more human man, the world better. So, what happened? We get to have congregation, confraternities, convent, monasteries, abbeys, sanctuaries in Italy, but Christians are missing. There remain only a minority of people who, among the ruins of modernity without values, still believe that the gospel is the force to make the world better. The word of novelty in a present at risk of humanity that forgets that everyone should always be on the side of justice, always. This minority is the seed that fight with the big boulder. In this regards, after musical break, I will tell you the story of the boulder and the seed. Let's be frank about it, that true Christian is considered an isolated, deluded, perhaps a little crazy, and there is a subtle irony that continually marginalizes. So he is tempted to conform so as not to lose consideration in the work environment, in family, among friends, and pass for one who does not know how to enjoy life. Instead, whatever difficulties we are experiencing, we are kept in God's hand. Let us be careful that behavior, habits, compromises, lightness, way of doing, have the power to turn off the soul. This we must fear of ourselves, but we are sure that God never abandons us. Now I take a guitar and I begin to sing a Napolitan song entitled Di Scidancello Vuio. d'angela sta compagna vostra, che ha già perduto il suono e la fantasia, che pensa sempre che è tutta vita mia e in giù volesse vincere, ma non giusta c'è. A voglia bene assai, dici d'angelo fuia, che non mi scordo mai, è una passione più forte è una catena che mi tormenta l'anima e non mi fa campare. "Look how strong I am," said the larger boulder to a small seed. Having said that, he threw himself from a hill and knocked down everything he met. He didn't stop at any obstacle and finished his ruin by making a big hole in the ground. "See," continued the boulder, "my parents result are rapid and striking." And the seed smiled calmly. One hand took it and sowed it in the ground. Even the boulder was buried by the wind under a mantle of hurt leaves. Days went by and an heir was born from the seed. A year passed and many heirs of corn were born. After a few years, the boulder had increasingly sunk into the ground, while the seed had become a blond field of wheat. "Poor me," mourned the boulder. "What am I doing to the world? If anyone remembers me, it just curses me. How did you get to be the strongest?" "We are strong both, but of a different strength," replied the seed. "You need pushes to get up. I rely on a friendly hand to get down in the groove. You make a lot of noise to be a winner. I hide to grow and let myself eat. You can serve to the fullest to build triumphal arches and cemetery gravestones. I take away hunger and become a bit of flesh and blood. Though I'm possessed with the bulk, I attract for my beauty. I am small, but I have great energy inside. You cannot spend a happy life for the simple, which is why there is no life in you. In this time of great seduction, or loss of faith, we should at all time of the day to raise our souls to Jesus. This is what Our Lady says in her last message. Let us listen to it.
Dear children, my words are simple but are filled with motherly love and care. My children, all the more the shadows of darkness and deception are being cast over you, and I am calling you to the light and truth. I am calling you to my Son. Only He can transform despair and suffering into peace and clarity. Only He can give hope in the deepest pain. My Son is the life of the world. The more that you come to know Him, the more that you come close to Him, all the more you will love Him, because my Son is love. Love changes everything. It makes most beautiful also that which without love seems insignificant to you. That is why, in you, I am saying to you that you must love a lot if you desire to grow spiritually. I know, apostles of my love, that it is not always easy, but, my children, also the painful paths are paths which lead to spiritual growth too. Faith, and to my son. My children, pray, think of my son. In all the moments of the day, raise your soul to him, and I will gather your prayers as flowers from the most beautiful garden and give them as a gift to my son. Be true apostles of my love, spread the love of my son to everyone. Be gardens of the most beautiful flowers. With your prayers help your shepherds that they may be spiritual fathers filled with love for all people. Thank you.
Our Lady does not make too complicated speeches for theologians or biblical scholars, but speak like a mother to her children. But her words are full of light. She knows that in the world there is evil, violence, hatred, lies, and many people lose their faith. She knows that we are entering a phase of intense struggle. She knows what it means to live. And she has also experienced that the deep pain of a mother who sees her son nailed to a cross. She knows what it means to live. But she lived in faith. She lived with hope. In the deepest pain, his son can give hope. Also, a mother who loses a child, or a husband who loses his wife, the deepest pain are those of emotional nature. But her son, give the hope of eternal life. And Jesus must be loved, praised, blessed, invoked, because he is the source of love, and everything changes. The sin becomes forgiveness, the evil becomes goodness, the darkness becomes light, and the pain becomes joy. And with Jesus, we manage to love our neighbor. And without him, you risk using this next. Everything good we do during the day, our action, everything is collected by Our Lady, who gives them to her Son, as if they were flowers in the garden of the kingdom of God. Your soul is a garden in which they are sowed the greatest values. Let them grow, and be certain that God is happiness and love. Mama, take this badge from me, 'cause I can't use it anymore. It's getting too dark to see. Feel like knocking on heaven's door. Knocking on a neighbor's 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 door. As for love, I thought that living with the person you love is not what everyone thinks it is. It's not getting up early in the morning for have breakfast and eat together. It is not cuddling in bed together until you sleep quietly every night. It is not a clean house and food perfect just made every day. Living with the person you love is arguing for simple things like who forgot to pull out of the garbage, is failing asleep because the day has left you exhausted, is discussing for financial issues, is someone who takes off your sheets and wake you up to the cold, or jump for nothing just to tiredness, and so on. But despite everything, you wait for that person anxiously, or you come home every day to meet the same person you know loves you and it cares about you. It's laughing at that time that you accidentally did something stupid. It's imitating each other and preparing the dinner easier to eat because you both have a heavy day. You live an emotional crisis and have someone who with love sits next to you and hugs you and tells you that everything will be fine and you believe him. Living with the person you love is simple, stupid, and constant discussions. But it is also having a love that many people spend their lives looking for. Not perfect, and it is very difficult to keep him in balance every day, but it is wonderful and the best you can experience, because if it were easy, it wouldn't be worth it, and you think, anything what we hate, we see home. Now, let us go to the Word, the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 7, verses 31-37, makes the deaf hear and the dumb speak.
Jesus went on to say, "To what then can I compare the people of this generation? What are they like? They are like children sitting in the marketplace and calling out to each other, 'We played the pipe for you, and you did not dance. We sang a dirge, and you did not cry.' For John the Baptist came neither eating bread nor drinking wine, and you say, 'He has a demon.' The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and you say, 'Here's a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners.' But wisdom is proved right by all her children." When one of the Pharisees invited Jesus to have dinner with him, he went to the Pharisee's house and reclined at the table. A woman in that town who lived a sinful life learned that Jesus was eating at the Pharisee's house. So she came there with an alabaster jar of perfume.
Jesus and his disciples go to Tyre and Sidon. No devout Jew would ever have gone there. They return to Galilee and are in the territory of the Decapolis. Decapolis means 10 cities, an area consisting of a set of 10 cities of Greek origin made by Alexander the Great, were pagans with special status. The Romans, when they invaded Israel, which that was called Syria, Palestine in the 70 before Christ, thought to snatch these 10 cities from the Jews. Thought of tearing these 10 cities away from the Jews. So, in spite of this hatred that the Jews, Jesus goes there for the Decapolis. He does not limit himself to announcing the Father's love to the Jews alone, to his people, but goes beyond that, bring his announcement also to foreign population, and always want his disciple with him, so that they may learn, so that they may understand that his message of love cannot be limited to a single people, but must be open and known by all. And they bring him a deaf mute, or rather, stuttering deaf, does not hear and struggle to speak. We also struggle to listen to each other, no? To communicate. Even the social networks are full of conflicts and fights. And some friends bring this man to Jesus, who they consider him to be a healer. It's beautiful to have friends who lead us to the Lord in prayer, adoration, meditation, and thought. It's nice to have these friends. In this regard, on the occasion of the jubilee year of San Pio Pietrelcina, we will meet to pray to him. Those who want to can take advantage to confess, otherwise they will have the opportunity to intercede by entrusting to the Lord people and situations that are dear to their hearts. 2018 is the first anniversary of the centenary of the stigmatization, which took place in the morning of 20 September 1918 in the choir of the little church of the Capuchin convent of San Giovanni Rotondo. For this reason I invite everyone to Thursday 20 September at 5 p.m. in the church of San Pasquale in Bagnoli to pray, adore, confess, intercede, and reflect on the theme God rowing with us. A community that does not have the courage to devote time to silence, to interiority, risks to be overwhelmed by the pagan and mundane thought that then prevent us from communicating. If we struggle to communicate or are deaf to the need of others, let us present ourselves to the Lord, who, like the deaf and dumb, cries out to our soul, Ephata, that is open to hope, to smile, to good humor, to faith, to love, and don't be afraid. And we continue to speak of the commandments that, more than commandments, are God's words to his people so that they may walk well. Loving words of a father. The 10 words begin thus. I am the Lord your God, who has brought you out of earth of Egypt, from the servile condition. At this beginning follow the laws. That is, one arrives at Mount Sinai after crossing the Red Sea. So the God of Israel first saves, then asks for trust. God never asks without giving first, never. First he saves, first he gives, then asks. God the Father first gives, then commands. So one cannot desire to be a Christian if we start from obligation, commitments. But it's necessary to start from deliberation. What? The commandments free you from your selfishness, because there is the love of God that takes you forward. Christian formation is based on letting oneself to be loved. First the Red Sea, then Mount Sinai. First salvation, God saves his people in the Red Sea. Then in Sinai, he tells them what to do. We do not save ourselves by ourselves, but from us can depart to cry for help. Lord, Lord, save me. Lord, teach me the way. Lord, cares me. Lord, give me some joy. This is a cry for help. This is up to us, to ask to be freed from selfishness, from sin, from the chains of slavery. This cry is important. It's a prayer. It is awareness of what is still oppressed and not freed in us. There are many things that do not free yourself in our souls. Save me, help me, free me. This is a beautiful prayer to the Lord. God awaits that cry, because he can and wants to break our chain. God has not called us to life to remain oppressed, but to be free and live in gratitude, joyfully obeying the one who has given us so much, infinitely more than we can ever give him. It is beautiful. May God always be blessed for all that he has done, does, and will do in us. Okay. And now some news from space. The green comet arrives, never so close to the Earth in the last 70 years. The Jacobini-Zinner, also called 21P, is a comet periodical of the solar system and was discovered by Michael Jacobini from the Observatory of Nice in 1900. Tomorrow, 10 September, the comet will fly only 58 million kilometers from our planet, a distance equal to that which separates us from Mars. As it gets closer and closer to each other, approaching the Sun, the comet begins to shine more and more because the heat of the Sun melts the frozen surface, and the core of the 21P is just over 2 kilometers, but the heat perceived by the Sun caused development of a tail about 290,000 kilometers long of diameter. It has a beautiful green color. This depends on the cyanogen and the atomic carbon gases that light up in color green because of the sunlight. An event not to be missed, as the next approach to the Earth will take place between 40 years, in 18 September 2050.
Hello. We are at the final greetings of the episode number 299 with the theme, Lord, open our hearts and our minds to listening to you. If you liked the video, spread it. Let's thank God for this beautiful day. Let's try to be beautiful also inside our souls and always stay in tune with the sweet surfaced Radio Casamia.
sa che una ferita si chiude e dentro non si vede. Che cosa ti aspettavi da grande? Non è tardi per ricominciare. E scegli una strada diversa e ricorda che l'amore non è violenza. Ricorda di disobbedire e ricorda che è vietato morire, vietato morire. Cambia le tue stelle, se ci provi riuscirai. E ricorda che l'amore non ti spara in faccia mai. Figlio mio, ricorda bene che la vita che avrai non sarà mai distante dall'amore che dai. Ricorda di disobbedire, perché è vietato morire. Ricorda di disobbedire, perché è vietato morire. Perché è vietato morire. Vietato morire.